Hello and welcome. This is your 9 p.m. daily quiz. I hope all of you are doing good. I welcome you all to this session where we discuss the most important news stories of the day from the prelims examination point of view by converting them into questions relevant for the prelims examination. The news stories here are taken up usually from the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express, the PIB and Down to Earth, depending upon how many important stories are being covered here. If you are new here, please do hit the like and the subscribe button. I would highly appreciate that. Also, if you need a PDF of these lectures, I upload all the PDFs on my Telegram channel. The link of the channel is again in the description of the video, so go click there. A couple of other important announcements in the live online PSIR course that I am running right now for PSIR optional students. The batch 2 is now getting open. You can join the batch if you have PSIR as your optional. We'll be covering the entire syllabus in about 350 hours. Live classes along with the availability of recordings for entire year. Also, you will get the notes in the PDF format for all the topics covered in the class. Also, I announced this yesterday. Yesterday, I launched a new ethics booklet. Many of you availed it yesterday itself. Great job. Those who are still looking to get it, this is a booklet where I have given 100 model answers to questions that are relevant for the ethics paper, and separately 50 case studies also solved, because answer writing for ethics can be slightly tricky as compared to GS. So you can buy this also. All these are available on my app. Download my app from the link in the description of this video. Now let's begin with the first question. It is on your screen. Which of the following is being studied for its potential to slow down global warming by stashing carbon dioxide underground? Protozoa, fungi, virus or bacteria? So which of these has a potential that they can stash, means store carbon dioxide underground in farming? Which of these? Think about it. The answer here is fungi. There is a wide scale study being done in Australia right now about how the use of certain fungi in the farming can actually lead to stashing of carbon dioxide underground, and thus it can lead to slowing down of global warming. About 1 lakh acres of agriculture land in Australia is being used to experiment this. Farmers are trying to tap the superpowers of fungus to pull carbon dioxide out of air and stash it underground, because fungus is considered to be nature's carbon trader. So basically they intake carbon and they can actually push it down underground so that we can take up a lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. That is the entire idea. Next, question number 2. Which of the following statements is not true about the post of cabinet secretary in India? Number 1. He or she is the ex officio head of the Civil Services Board, the Cabinet Secretariat, the IAS and all civil services under the rules of business of the government. Second, he or she ranks 9th on the Indian order of precedence. Third, he or she is under the direct charge of the Prime Minister and is appointed for a fixed tenure of 2 years. And fourth, the Cabinet Secretariat is responsible for the administration of transaction of business and allocation of business rules 1961. Slightly tricky, because when you read Indian polity, we do not separately read about the Cabinet Secretary or Cabinet Secretariat. As you know, the Cabinet Secretary is the highest rank that an IAS officer can achieve in India. By virtue of that, whoever becomes a Cabinet Secretary automatically becomes the head of Civil Services Board, the IAS, Cabinet Secretariat, etc. First is correct. Second is wrong. If you look at the order of precedence, Cabinet Secretary ranks at the 11th place and not 9th. The order of precedence is the official order in which the rankings are considered in India. For example, President being at first, then being Vice President, then being the Prime Minister, so on and so forth. This is a homework for the day. Tell me, if he is at the 11th position, who are the people who are above him? Tell me in the comment section from 1 to 10 who are the people who have first 10 ranks in the Indian order of precedence. Second and third and fourth are also correct. So the answer here is B. You had to choose the incorrect one. The reason why we are discussing this is that the government has announced the next Cabinet Secretary. It will be Mr. T.V. Somanathan. The current Cabinet Secretary, that is Mr. Rajiv Gauba, his tenure ends on 30th of August. He was given an extended tenure by the government. Now that also is coming to an end. Next, question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to the Great Barrier Reef. Number 1. The Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef system. It is located in the Coral Sea off the coast of Queensland, Australia. Second, It's also home to endangered species such as dugong and the large green turtle. Third, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and was inscribed in 1981. How many of these are correct? Now, the Great Barrier Reef remain in the news usually about their beauty, the different types of species that are found. But in the past few years, they have also been in the news because of global warming, because of increasing temperature, because of different types of issues that are being seen in the Great Coral Reef, and that is why it is in the news. With respect to the Great Barrier Reef, all these three are correct. The world's largest coral reef system. It is a major attraction for anyone visiting Australia. Usually take a flight or a helicopter to watch it from above. Many endangered species are found here, and it was made a part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site as early as in 1981. The answer here is C. All the three here are absolutely correct. There's an article in the Hindu newspaper about how temperatures in the Great Barrier Reef in the last decade are at the highest ever level. That is a major indication of global warming. As we know, mass coral bleaching has been witnessed in the past few years in the Great Barrier Reef in 2016, 17, 2020, 2022 and even in 2024. Next, question number 4. Consider the following statements with regards to antimicrobial resistance. Number 1. The WHO has identified antimicrobial resistance as one of the top 10 threats to global health. Second, microorganisms that develop antimicrobial resistance are sometimes referred to as the superbugs. Third, National Program on Antimicrobial Resistance Containment was launched in 2015 in India. How many of these are correct? Now you see a lot of articles about antimicrobial resistance. The idea is that when you consume medicines such as antibiotics, when your body is not in need of it, the bugs in your body, bacteria, etc. get used to it. So they develop an immunity against it. That is called antimicrobial resistance. With that in mind, first is true. It is one of the top 10 global health issues in the world right now. Second is also correct. These are super bugs which are able to develop resistance against it. Third is wrong. The National Program on Antimicrobial Resistance Containment in India actually was launched in 2012 and not 2015. The answer thus here is B. Two of these are correct. The third statement is wrong because of the year. There is an article in the Indian Express newspaper which again carries about or talks about the threats of antimicrobial resistance, talks about the use or the threats that become real because of irrational use of antibiotics. There are a lot of people across the world right now on whose body antibiotics will not really have any impact because the microbes in their body have gotten used to it. Next, question number 5. The Kafala system recently in the news is the labor system of which of the following nations? Kafala system. UAE, Qatar, Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Again, the Kafala system. It is a labor system in which of these countries. It is a lot in the news because of certain changes being introduced and how it impacts Indians. The answer here is D, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's labor system is called the Kafala system. It is a lot in the news because, as you know, a lot of migrant laborers from countries such as India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka move to countries such as Saudi Arabia and UAE to work, and they don't have a lot of rights while working there. Many of them see that their passports are taken away so that they can't return back. They're paid minimum wages. Now, the new law is actually impacting the migrant workers even more. This is called the Kafala system. Now, actually, if you look at how the labor system works in Saudi Arabia, they have 14 categories of domestic work, and all these domestic work, all these categories have different laws and different regulations on them. As per the official data, 20 lakh workers fall under servants and house cleaners category, even though they might have some other skill set. This Kafala system actually allows the local people to employ them without giving a lot of wages, making sure that they can work for longer hours, and that is why it is a lot in the news. Do read about that. Saudi, anyways, does not have a good record of implementing the labor law system. There is a lot of news about wage theft, labor exploitation, etc. To end today's session, we have an important piece of information for you, an important infographic, again from the government's own sources. It is about India's seafood production and export. In the past few years, in order to diversify the source of income for the farmers, the government has been pushing farmers towards horticulture, fisheries, seafood production, etc. In that aspect, it is very, very important to understand that if you look at our production of seafood and our export, it is constantly increasing, which is a very, very good sign for us. This piece of information is very important for your mains examination. This was our session for the day. If you're new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. Do join my Telegram channel as well to get PDF of all these sessions. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.